Hi everybody, Ali Akbarian, your resident road safety expert, back again from Mobility Engineering with a Q&A. As we always say, we love those questions coming in, so keep them coming in. And with my trusty subscribe pillow, we are almost at that 1,000 subscribers, so please hit that button down there and get us to that thousands. We're loving that support. And also a very special video today because it's our 200th video, which is really exciting for me. We've been creating a lot of videos for the last few years, and I'm really excited and I really love it. And I really thank everyone for tuning in and actually listening to it. And I know in the industry, there's quite a lot of people that use these videos as resources, and we're very happy, and that's why we started it. And yeah, like we always say, keep those questions coming. I'm going to keep producing all these videos. As long as people are watching it, we're going to keep producing it. And I know it's useful, so yeah, thanks very much for supporting that. And let's get on to today's video. So today's video, in light of the fact that we're on the 200, we are going to recycle, I guess, one of the videos from a few years ago because it's quite a popular video and it was quite a lot of traction around it. So we want to talk about that again, maybe to see if there's anything different since then as well. So that question today is basically around fitting your child restraint in an extra cab vehicle. So is it okay to fit my baby seat in the back of an extra cab or a space cab? So the first thing I'll explain so we're all on the same page, an extra cab or a space cab vehicle, they're the vehicles where it's like a ute or a utility. So think of like Toyota Hilux or Nissan Navara, those kind of vehicles. It looks a bit like that. And they don't have the 4 doors and they don't have 2 doors. They kind of have 2.5 doors. All right, so basically what they have is they've got 1 row of seats. So you got like the front row, like what you got in this van. And then you kind of got like a little half door with a half window, you know, and you got like, kind of like a half back seat. So when you look in the back, it looks pretty cramped and it's really small. And those particular vehicles, they're not very popular, so this is not a common scenario, but it does come up, and they're popular amongst tradies because they give you a larger ute space. So that's the attraction to them. So the question has been, can I fit my baby seat into that tiny little cabin area? And there is a couple of, I guess, answers to that depending on the setup of the vehicle. So the first answer is yes, if you have the facilities to do so. And the facilities to do so is an anchor point for the baby seat. So the top tether has to be able to hook onto an anchor point. So you've got to have an anchor point in there. And from my experience, there's really not that many that have anchor points. Most of them actually don't. And you've also got to have a seatbelt, an over-the-shoulder seatbelt. So if you've got an anchor point and a seatbelt, then you can go to the next step of like, all right, can we fit this or not, right? So if you don't have an anchor point, you don't have a seatbelt, you basically can't fit it. You need another vehicle to fit a baby seat, right? You might be able to modify it, but like I've said, extra cabs are a very tight space, so we can't really fit, you know, the modifications possible, but pretty much impossible, if that makes sense. Anyway, let's go on to the fitting. So we've got a space cab that's got the anchor point and it's got the seat belt. So now we are thinking, okay, we want to fit it. And can it fit in there? So I've got this demo fitting bench here. And the demo fitting bench, I've got it to demonstrate what the issues could be in a space cab vehicle so we can understand that. So this is a standard back seat of a van or a bus, standard back seat, right? So what I mean by standard, it is a normal standard size made for adults. The seat in the extra cab will be about half of this size or about 3/4 of this size. So you see, let's say this is 50 centimeters long. The one in the extra cab, it's going to be about 30 centimeters long, right? So it's a lot smaller. So what does that mean? That means that potentially your baby seat might be hanging over. When you fit it, it might actually be hanging over like that. I'll just try and get that out of the way so you can see. So you see how I've got this fitting there and some of it's hanging over? So is the overhang okay, and should I have overhang if I'm fitting in an extra cab? The overhang is okay, but it should not be more than halfway, right? So when we talk about halfway, let's say I've got a base here, and let's say for argument's sake, we're talking about our base being 50 centimeters. If 25 centimeters of that base sits on the space cab seat, then we're all good and we can go ahead, 25 centimeters or more. But if less than 25 centimeters, so less than half of the seat base, sits on the back seat of the car, then you really shouldn't be fitting it there. We don't recommend it. It's not an illegal thing, but it's something that we don't recommend and we don't believe it's safe because it's not going to have the stability on the seat to secure the seat into the actual restraint in the car, right? So that's basically what we believe you should be following and how you should be doing it. Can we fit into an extra cab? Yes, we can if there's anchor points. Yes, we can if it fits properly onto the back seat. All right, so hopefully that helps with that question. Thank you very much for tuning in to those videos, 200 of them, really exciting, and keep those questions coming in and hit that subscribe button down there, and we'll see you next time.